Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back. So I didn't really want to make this video, but I feel like if people are going to copy my videos and react to them or review them or however you want to put it, I figured it's only fair that I check out their videos as well. Like this YouTuber here, Dan Webbs, made a video calling Carlos Lastra finally speaks out and it's tragic. And he uses Carlos and me in the thumbnail and puts clowns. Damn, he puts clowns, but really it's called a juggalo, yo. Anyways, let's watch this video, check it out, and see what this guy has to say about the whole situation. I already had a feeling that he was going to take the interview video and make a response to it just so we can gain more clicks. Damn, first thing I do is get an ad popping up on the video. Like, of course, gotta cash in. I'm wondering if in this video he's gonna include everything, or it's gonna be like the Fetty Potter video that he covered from 4 years ago, where he forgot to include all the photos and screenshots and all the actual good information and the fact that the girl came forward and with the claims as well as there was a police report involved and the police got involved, or he's just going to miss all that and just at the end of the video claim that Fetty was innocent, where in this case he's probably going to say Carlos was guilty.
Yo. So what's going on, people? Today we're doing our final video on the Carlos Lastra situation.
First thing, final video. Is it actually going to be the final video? Probably not.
Now, I've got a bunch of news that I need to share with you, and I think we may actually have the good ending on this one.
A
So
good ending,
fingers crossed for that. I've got a bunch of details to go through. Carlos has actually came out and spoken about the situation, which is hilarious because the whole situation,
How is that hilarious that he came out and spoke out? At least he actually came out and spoke out. Sorry, I like it just kind of frustrates me with this guy, just the way he says things.
whole interview is just abysmal. It's
To him, it's hilarious.
terrible quality. He conducted it with Chad Sinclair, who has been begging me to come on his channel. He's been putting
Bro, begging you? First off, all I did was leave like 2 comments on your actual YouTube video basically saying that, hey, yo, look, you missed a bunch of information in the Fetty situation. And I messaged you once on Instagram, yo. Straight up, I messaged him one time, but yet I'm begging Dan Webbs to do a video together. I don't need to beg you, bro. Like, what the heck are you even talking about? Claiming that I'm begging you to do a video. I just wanted to talk to you about what was going on. Didn't even have to do a video. It just could have been a private situation. But from what we can tell, everything with you when it comes to private is no longer private. So just to prove to all of you, I contacted Daniel Webstale once on Instagram, and all I said to this guy was, hey man, saw you covered my story on Fetty and thought I'd reach out to you directly. There was a lot of stuff you didn't mention in your videos that you missed, photos, screenshots. I made a video in response, but you never responded, so figured I'd contact you. I wanted to know if you would be interested in talking directly with each other about it, or can you even do it out in public or something? Let me know. Thanks. And this dude's taking that out of proportion, saying that I contacted him, I was begging him. Bro, there's no begging going on.
comments on my video, deleting some of them, and then writing more comments saying, why are you deleting my comments?
Bro, I never deleted any of my comments. Why would I delete my own comments saying that you missed evidence and like you missed a bunch of things in a video? That makes no sense. Already, not even 30 seconds in, and this guy is just talking smack.
My God, this kid is a freaking goblin.
A
So
goblin, yo.
already I'm passionate about this situation, but I'm not going to let that get in the way of my normal judgment, right? So like I just said,
Okay, so he says all that within the first 30 seconds. It's not going to change his unbiased opinion about people. No, I already call cap on that. This guy is clearly capping on that situation, and he loves the drama. He loves all this stuff.
so like I just said, Chad has done an interview with Carlos. I messaged Carlos multiple times asking if he wanted to come on my channel and speak the story. As you can see from the screenshots on screen right now, he commented on my video saying I got it all wrong. I said, all right, fine, let's talk. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. He aired that. I messaged him a few times. He aired that too. Probably because he thought I was going to grill him a bit too much, because trust me, I would have done that. I want to find these answers out. There are real victims in this situation.
True.
Chad just sits there, agrees with pretty much everything Carlos has to say. And Carlos says some pretty damning dastardly stuff in this interview, like,
So first off, I just have to state I talked to Carlos about this. Why aren't you doing a video or interview with Dan? And he said the reason why is because when Nigel sent him these allegations, Dan made a video right away. He jumped on the opportunity to get clicks, get views, and cause this drama. And then when he reached out to Carlos afterwards to see if he wanted to talk about it, he was pretty upset. He was like, why didn't you contact me first? and talk to me first before you just post a video causing all this drama and now having people threaten me and go after me and all this stuff. So that's the main reason why, Dan, why Carlos didn't go on with you. And like, yeah, I could have jumped on the whole situation too and like talk a bunch of smack saying, oh, Carlos did this, Carlos did that based on Nigel's allegations, but I didn't. And I thought, hey, I'd contact Carlos and see what he had to say. And since I didn't do a video based off of Nigel's allegations and then reached out to Carlos first and seen what his side of the story was, he was more willing to talk about it. And people are going to take that interview any way they want. I don't interview people professionally. Hell, I'm pretty sure you don't either, Dan. And that's the thing is like if you're going to go after somebody that you think possibly did something, they're not going to talk to you if you're bashing them or going after them hard. You got to like kind of like, sweeten them up with some honey. And yeah, I might have been agreeing with Carlos. I might have been like soft as people are saying or glazing the dude or whatever you want to put it. It was the whole reason why was because he wouldn't have talked otherwise. He didn't even want to talk out. And because I was able to talk with him and try to hear his side of the story regardless what people say, he actually came forward, he spoke out on what happened, and we heard his side of the story regardless of whatever happened. That's Carlos's side, and until other future evidence or proof comes forward, then it's just Nigel's word against Carlos, and Carlos claims it was an accident and owns up to everything else. And like I said, if Carlos isn't innocent and he does get fined, like, all this other stuff comes forward, or he does eventually get charged or something like that, then he does need to face the consequences and we know that he was lying. But right now, it's his word against Nigel's.
Like, I know he doesn't go out and say what he did, but he's acting really suspicious, and it just sounds like he's drunk this entire interview. So with all that being said, we're going to jump into this Brian Arnett video that I have ready right here because I don't want to bring any more views to Chad's interview. I have listened to it, so I know the full details, but Brian covers it really well in this, and then I'm going to give you the details about where the situation is going, but we'll speak about that towards the end of the video. First of all, we're going to check this Brian video out. Shout out Brian. I've linked his video down below if you want to check that too. So let's jump straight in.
Assumptions, but it all leads to this interview that Carlos ended up doing, this 42-minute video on Chad Sinclair's channel.
Terrible interview.
I don't know why Carlos chose.
Bro, you don't want to add more to me, but then you mentioning my name, mentioning my channel over and over again, so your little hate army can start to go after me or leave hateful comments, and it's all good. I understand that's what it is and how it's like, but it just goes to show you that you're two-faced already by saying things and they're actually false. Like, saying I was begging you, and then also like, I don't want to bring his name up, and then you right away do it.
Do it here, but
yeah, I literally offered Carlos multiple times to come on my channel. You'd think, right, if you want to clear your name, really, you're going to come on the channel that brought you into the mud in the first place, because that's where all the viewers are that now think that you've SA'd this person. So if you want to cover your own ass, go on the channel that everybody's already waiting for the answer on, instead of just this random channel that's going to get you 600 views. Like,
bro, I already explained why he didn't want to talk to you, because you just jumped on this for views and clout and to make money rather than talking to him directly.
Even if this was like the most brilliant interview ever and it just cleared Carlos completely, barely anyone's gonna see it. So why? Anyway, like, I'm passionate about the situation because
that's not true, because Carlos and I were already knowing, like we called it, you and Brian and whoever else was going to jump on this opportunity to take the interview and do it anyways. So it didn't really matter if he came forward to you or not, because you guys were all going to jump on it.
We're dealing with a bunch of morons. So, and there are real victims, like real life people assaulted in this case, which is ridiculous that they're treating this like some sort of stupid drama situation. Especially when it comes to a situation like this. Like, who wants to be known as the guy that outs people for being, So anyway, let's get on to this.
Chose to do. And obviously it's a 42-minute video. I am not going to play you guys this whole thing. I listened to it. It's not that very good. This guy just kind of sounds like he's just like a fan of Carlos, so he's agreeing with everything he's saying and just acting like he's 100% innocent. I hate to even draw this much attention to Chad's video because it was so. But this is where Carlos chose to make an attempt.
Even Brian's got to chime in.
So this is the one shot I'm giving him. This is the last time I'm talking about this. Let's hear what he says.
Let's hear it.
Claims that like you touched her inappropriately when you were trying to help her.
Honestly, if I did, it was a very honest accident.
Did you hear that? So Chad goes, so you touched this girl inappropriately? Like, allegedly you touched this girl inappropriately. And Carlos is like, oh, well, if I did, it was a bit of an accident. Even if you didn't, it was an accident. That is still assault. Like, I get the intention means a lot, right? If you intended to do it, it's a different thing than if it actually happened, which, fine. But why would this girl then go to all the other Braille members and say this, and this, if none of it was true? If it was an accident, surely it would happen more than once before people would actually start to feel like they needed to take action.
You know how you like.
But you haven't even talked to the girl yet. We're just going off what Nigel stated.
What
Oh,
happened?
sorry.
And if it was like,
And at least he's saying it's an
anything,
accident if it was an accident.
So already he's trying to blame this whole situation on the fact that he was drunk and can't remember it. You would think, right, if this was me and someone had made these allegations towards me and I know I didn't do it, I would be so passionate about the fact that I didn't do it. I'd be going on to everybody's channel saying like, look, this never happened. This is why it didn't happen. And I've got proof for that reason or whatever it may be. But he's just like, oh, well, if it did happen, then I guess it wasn't really my fault. Oh, man.
Yeah, no, I teach.
You know,
I teach
you
so.
know how you catch your fellow skateboarder. I was just trying to like protect a person.
You know when you touch a fellow skateboarder?
No, he didn't say that, man. He said when you catch a fellow skateboarder, you're already changing the narrative and the context on the situation, man. Like all you do is cause drama.
Oh.
You bring this up from 4 years ago, just like the Fetty Potter situation, just to get clues.
I've never been
Classic
near
abuse.
or close enough to someone that when they fall, I've been able to go, whoa, whoa, go and grab them quickly, especially like not round the back like this, which is essentially what the allegations were.
Yeah.
And that's not even the start of it. Like, there's many more allegations too, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I
So they don't fall
what other
down.
allegations? I know how that is. You know, somebody's gonna fall, you're just gonna go try to catch them. You're not thinking of where you're placing your hands.
And Chad is just like, yeah, man, I know how that is. Not like, so exactly how did they fall? Why did they fall? How many times did this happen? Why have you not answered hard-hitting questions? If I was Chad, I would have gone onto my community page if I had an interview with Carlos and I would have been like, look, what questions do you want asked? What things do you want answered? And I would have got that from the community, from the public, find out what they want to know and then bring that to this whole situation. He's just begged me for an, like, I think.
Yeah, but the thing is I didn't even cover this situation prior based on Nigel's allegations, and it's kind of hard to have people ask Carlos questions based on if they have no idea what's going on. And even the interview people are probably like, what the heck was going on? But already you're taking things and changing it for your perspective and narrative of trying to cause more drama. And like, you know, you're saying you've never caught a skater. Like if you're at a contest and you're like colliding with you people and stuff like that, you're not like gonna catch somebody. Sometimes, you know, you collide somebody, you try to like, you know, make sure they're not gonna smack their head and stuff like that. And I'm not saying, you know, this is the case with what happened to Carlos, but you know, sometimes people collide, sometimes they fall, sometimes you catch each other, sometimes you don't.
Chad Sinclair has just begged me for an interview. Like I said, wrote comments, deleted them.
No, I
He's
did
a
not, bro.
proper goblin, man.
Bro, you're gonna call me a freaking goblin and say I deleted comments, and I didn't, man. You deleted my comments because you didn't want to bring any more attention from what you're claiming, and or you two might have deleted them based on what was said, which I don't think so. I didn't delete no comments. I didn't beg you. I made one DM to you on Instagram, and I left I think one or two comments on your YouTube page. And supposedly to you that's begging, and I'm a goblin, but yet you're bringing up stuff throughout the skateboard community from like 4 years ago to try to cause drama to get views. If anything, you're the cloud goblin, dude. At the moment.
Yeah, no, this is like 5 years ago, and I feel so bad.
Okay, I just want to mention too, quickly, sorry, is that the reason why I reached out to Dan too was so that he can be involved in the interview. And he read the messages or whatever and decided to not even bother getting involved. And that's his choice. You know, if he doesn't want to be involved in the interview, he could have been asking questions. You know, Nigel could have been on there, and they all just decided to ignore it. And that's fine. That's their decision. But to go after the fact and be like, oh, they're begging me. They're begging me. Nobody's begging you, bro. Nobody wants to even be involved with this, with you and like what's going on, other than you and the rest of the guys to get more drama and views.
It was like 5 years ago. Why does it matter? You think when all that Bill Cosby stuff came out, all that Jimmy Savile stuff came out, you think it mattered? It was 5, 10, 15 years ago, whatever. This kind of stuff, it transcends time.
Because they should have just brought it up to my attention immediately.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one.
had no
Sometimes
idea.
it doesn't happen right away. Well, what I find weird is like you just said, this was 5 years ago. And I thought this was recent, but like something from 5 years ago, if it was the big enough issue, you figure the girl that this happened to would have brought it up. She would have mentioned it at the moment.
Okay, so if he had actually watched my video, he would understand the fact that this girl didn't want to be put into the public eye as a victim for something like this.
Then why are you bringing this up? You're just causing the victim to deal with this again.
That's why we still haven't shared her name. That's why none of this has been thrown in her direction, because she doesn't want to be in the public eye. And you can't have a SA case like this and not be in the public eye with a channel that has like 5-6 million subscribers.
Not necessarily things can happen behind closed doors privately, but you and Nigel decided to make this thing a huge public thing just so you can get views and stuff like that, man. Like you're talking about Goblin, you're the freaking Goblin for doing this. You could have done this privately without making any videos. I know of a bunch of different things that have happened privately without, videos being made where there could have been and people kept the privacy on it. But no, you decided to open that Pandora's box.
And a bunch of other skateboard famous people involved. It's ridiculous.
And like the fact that it is ridiculous that you even mention it, and then now 5 years later, she still hasn't mentioned it or brought it up. It's now Nigel bringing this forward. Is just really kind of weird to me that he would bring this up, and it was like an accident. It was an honest mistake that wasn't even a big deal.
See, Chad, man, you're literally just like, yeah, it was an accident. You don't know Carlos personally, I don't think anyway. You don't know this whole situation personally, and I'm not saying that I do either, but how can you sit there and say, yeah, it was an accident when you don't know?
Because I'm going off of what Carlos told me. Nigel hasn't told me anything other than his allegations and your little like snippets that you showed of the conversation. And I'm going off of what Carlos is saying. I'm interviewing Carlos and talking to him about what he said. So when he says it's an accident, I'm repeating what he says. Like, yeah, it's an accident. I can see how it's an accident, and you could justify it as an accident if there was no intention. I wasn't there. You weren't there. I don't know if Nigel was there. The only people that know what happened was Carlos and the victim, and only Carlos so far has came forward. Unless Nigel was there and saw it or other people saw it, we don't know what happened.
Fan of Carlos, and you're just trying to get his little button to go.
Absolutely disgusting, bro. Like you're gonna talk this smack about me. You don't even know me. You're all the way out in Australia, and you're gonna put this online. Like that's what I'm saying. You cause drama. You love the drama. You're gonna say this about me, man. Like yo, like don't even get me going on this, man. Like, holy smokes. I honestly really hope I don't ever meet you in person, dude, and you never know. Because if I ever do go to Amsterdam and we run into each other, I guess we'll just have to see what happens.
Who knows, my friend?
It was an honest accident, and if anybody knows,
I mean, you're entitled to your opinion about me, but
like I did not.
that's just crazy for you to go public about it.
On that
In that sense.
He's really not helping his case here at all, bro.
And he sounds drunk in
literally
this
said,
whole interview.
If I did, it was an accident. I'm going to play one more part of this interview, but again, like these are just small clips of a 42-minute video. If you really want to, like I'm not trying to take anything out of context here. If you really want to, you can find this video. I'm not going to link it, but you can find it.
Yeah, Brian's being 100% legit here. He's not taking anything out of context.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least Brian's being somewhat legit about it, where this Dan guy is like making all these things and doing all these things and saying all this stuff where he already said in the first 30 seconds he's got a personal bias against me. I don't even know why. I don't even know the freaking guy. And then making false claims about me begging him and all this stuff, bro. Like, yeah, right. If anything, when I go to Australia, if I do, I beg to meet up with you, man, so we can talk about how you actually feel about me.
Play a video, and my god, it's one of the most mind-numbing, brain-rotting interviews I've ever heard in my life.
And listen to the whole thing for yourself, but as you could tell from this clip, bro, he's just a bad interviewer.
But you're not even going to go that route. That's the thing is, I don't interview people, man. I just make skate videos and do content, and you're going to say I'm a bad interviewer. I try to reach out to Dan. I tried to reach out to Nigel. I guess I could have reached out to you too, Brian, but I didn't because I wasn't aware that you were involved in it at this point until now. And like, yeah, we all could have got together and we all could have like talked to Carlos, but you guys didn't respond, and that's fine. You guys don't have to. It's all good. But because we already knew that you guys were going to take the video and grill it and give your guys' side of it or your opinion of it, all means to go this legal route and nail him for this because he's causing you harm. But you're not even going to bother doing that. You just want to move on with your life. And
that is the biggest red flag in my opinion. Carlos saying that he's not going to chase any sort of like defamatory act thing because he just wants to move on with his life and situation, which, right, fair enough, right, if it was any other thing or any other allegation. But the fact that you're being accused of SA on a minor, you would do everything you could to clear your name of that, because anyone that you like, and I know people do this a lot right these days, say if he's going to go on a date, women and men will go out and they'll Google the people they're on a date with to find out if there's anything dastardly like this behind them, and they're going to find all this Carlos stuff. So if he actually cared and actually thought he was innocent, he would be on his he would be putting his life on the line to prove himself innocent. I certainly would be. I think that 99 point.
Bro, I'm so sorry. You're gonna say this about Carlos, but when did Fetty ever do any of that? And yet, according to you, he's innocent, and there was actually a lot of stuff that you missed in the video, and that's what I tried to reach out to you about. Not to like beg you to do a video with me, but just to basically fill you in on all the stuff you missed. But the thing is like it sounds like Carlos is defeated. He's done with everything. He's done with the drama. He just wants to move on with his life, and we don't know if he did it intentionally or it was an accident. And this is the thing is that like you and everybody else are going after him, attacking him like Nigel's word is in solid gold, and it's all the proof we need that he actually did this stuff. And that's what blows my mind is that you guys are kind of two-faced in the fact when it comes to one person and then completely different towards another person. I'd also like to point out that Carlos shared a lot of information with me about tons of other individuals, and I'm not going to mention their names, that they're basically hypocrites because they're calling him out on this and other things, but yet they're guilty of similar things. So I'm like, Carlos, why don't you say that in the interview? You know, come forward and say this person did this person has done that. And he says, no, man, I'm not about the drama. I don't want to cause more problems. I could do that, but that's not the type of person I am. And that's the thing is like, you know, even if he did come forward and said all this stuff about all these other people, it's just his word against theirs. And then people are going to go, well, is it true? Is it not true? And then it's just going to cause even more drama. Oh, and I asked, it's quickly, I asked Carlos why he wouldn't want to pursue it all. And he just says that he doesn't want to cause any more drama and he doesn't want to go through the hassle of all that. He just wants to work, do his life, and, you know, just move on from all this. And you know, I understand that, but with way things are going, if I was in a situation, I'd definitely be taking a legal course in action, and people can say whatever they would want about that.
But apparently, he caused so much controversy, and I just, I guess I don't really care anymore.
He
Like
goes, I guess I don't really care anymore.
Yeah,
like you want the platform, go ahead, take it. You're pro, happy for you, do your thing.
yeah,
But
just
just you
keep
know,
you
it
out of
just
it.
yeah, just enough is enough.
Yeah,
I think that's my attitude right now these days.
yeah. Well, hopefully after this comes out, it just all goes away because
Hopefully after this comes out, it all just goes away. It ain't going away, my friend. We've got the good ending. Stay tuned for the end of the video because I've got some good news.
he's like laughing about it because he thinks it's all a joke and it's just going to get him more views. You know, he's talking about the seriousness of if there was a victim and if there is a victim, and then he's laughing about it. And that's that just goes shows Dan's true colors about how he feels about all this stuff. He doesn't even care. It's just a way for him to get his name out there, to get more clicks, to have people praise him as like this holy person that's doing God's work when it's just literally Nigel's word against Carlos's because there's nothing there. There's no photos, there's no proof, there's no evidence, there's nothing. It's just all he said, she said, and you already owned up to what happened. There's no photos. You owned up
Yeah,
to what happened at the park. If anything, it might have been an incident. It was an accident. Shit happens.
If
I'm
anything, it
escaped.
might have been an incident. It was an accident. Like, honestly, it sounds like Chad is just rimming Carlos like crazy, and Carlos is just like, yeah, yeah, man, yeah, it was an accident.
Rimming Carlos, eh? Sounds like you're obsessed with that, man. It sounds like something that you're into, man. And the thing is, too, is like I was just agreeing with him and just trying to figure out where he was coming from. And I'm not just gonna sit there and bash the guy and then him not want to do this interview. You know what I mean? Like it's better for him to come out and give his side because when I went after Fetty, he just like shut down everything, blocked everyone, got a lawyer, silenced up. He didn't defend anything or nothing. You know, at least Carlos is coming out and we don't know the whole story. We're going off of Nigel's word. We're going off of what Carlos said. And, you know, it might have been an accident. It might have not have been an accident. It could have been intentional. It could have been unintentional. I don't know. You don't know, Dan or Brian. Carlos is the only person that knows. And until more comes out, we don't know. We're just going off of what's said. And at least Carlos came forward and said all this. And it might seem like I'm doing what you said to Carlos, but I'm just trying to understand where he's coming from and, you know, just trying to get what he says is actually his side of the story.
family life, excessive drinking. I admit to that, and the
I thought that
guilt
was weird.
will never leave my life.
It
Okay, like
sounds
I
like he's
feel
getting
that
drunk as
way
this interview
every
goes
day.
on.
Yeah. You forget that he's suffered from now he has epilepsy from what he's saying. He has seizures, multiple seizures, and he's on medication. So, you know, when people have seizures, it does impact your brain, your brain. So, you know, at least he's not saying I was blackout and I don't remember anything. He actually remembers what happened, and people that do have seizures or whatnot can have, you know, mental damage.
But it was my fault. It was my problem.
He sounds wasted.
But as far as the allegations, no,
We don't know
that
if he
never
is or
happened
not,
to
man.
me.
You're just
Well,
assuming
that's
that.
Like, how? You literally just said at the start of the video, I don't know, it might have happened. Like, I don't think I did it. At least it wasn't intentional if I did. And now he's like, yeah, it never happened. You can't even remember what you said 20 minutes ago.
He's going off of what Nigel said in his allegations of intentionally touching him. You're taking it and twisting it again. He's just saying that what Nigel said never happened in the aspect of what he's saying as an intentional act, that it was actually an accident. I just don't understand where you're twisting that as well.
I,
Something that you know is respectful about you is that you don't even have to own up to the drinking, but you're owning up to that. You're apologizing for the drinking, and you don't even have to go there. You know, it's the other stuff that people are worried about, and even that
yeah,
stuff.
I
No,
get that part.
it's yeah, it's like that just goes to show you that your character. You know, that you're acknowledging that. So
there's another part in this interview where he keeps bringing up Carlos's character. He just sounded so thankful that Carlos gave him a shot because this dude
True.
Chad said that he reached out to Nigel as well.
it's funny. He says, to me, it seems like this guy is just grateful for the exposure this will bring, eventually potentially bring his something channel. I guess that's what it says, something about the channel. And it has nothing to do with that at all. I just figured instead of jumping on it like you and Dan did, making Carlos seem like this horrible person, it would be better to reach out to him and hear his side of the story before making any judgments. And that's where instead of bashing him and going after him, I was like, you know what? I'm actually going to let this guy speak his side and hear what he has to say before I make a judgment. And from what you all know, he said it was an accident. So we don't know if it was an accident or not. He could have just said nothing even happened. At least he's saying that something did happen and it was an accident, according to Carlos.
And didn't get a response, so that he was just so grateful that Carlos gave him a chance, and it just shows how like his character that he's willing to. I don't know. Let me find it.
I even reached out to Nigel. I reached out to Dan.
He did.
They both completely ignored me. The only I reached out
Yeah,
to
I
you.
did. You see, Chad, I would have actually taken the time to speak to you if you didn't do all this shady stuff trying to get my attention. He
Shady
obviously
stuff?
was trying to bait me into talking to him because he was
What?
like I said at the start of the video,
Bro,
writing comments, then deleting them
I didn't
himself, and
delete
then writing a
nothing, bro.
second comment and saying that I was deleting all his comments. Like I think he was doing that. So
Okay, first off, I didn't do that, Dan. I didn't leave a comment and remove the comment and left another comment. I don't know if you deleted the comment or YouTube deleted the comment, but it was removed. Who cares if it was YouTube or you or whatever, and I left another comment. And how is that shady? I didn't do any of that. I'm telling you right now. You're going to accuse me of something I didn't do, and I contacted you on Instagram and left one message.
I would comment back saying, bro, I didn't delete any of your comments. What are you talking about? But I see right through you. You're dealt with many people like you in the
Whoa.
past, Chad. You obviously can't clearly do a non-biased interview. You
Point
sound like
the
you're
finger
kissing
in the
ass like
mirror,
crazy.
bro.
So you are not the man for the job, and you should keep your goblin ass nose out of these situations.
There you go, personally attacking me again, man. Like, if you got issues with me, bring it to my attention. No, you put it on public to cause more drama, and like straight up, man, like the only goblin here is yourself. You're a clout goblin causing all this drama, trying to get people going. You're assuming stuff, calling me shady and saying I deleted comments. I didn't delete nothing, bro. And I contacted you once because I thought maybe you'd want to get involved in on this. And no, you don't respond back. You don't do nothing, and that's fine. That's your choice. But now you're gonna go back now and say like, yo, you're doing all this shady stuff. You deleted comments. I didn't do none of that stuff, man. I didn't delete no comment. I left a comment saying, yeah, you left a bunch of stuff out of the Fetty incident. There was like all these photos. There was like, you know, the girl coming forward and like a bunch of stuff that you didn't include. And you're saying that Fetty was innocent. And I was actually pretty surprised that you actually responded. So like I said, I respect you for actually responding. And like, there's no reason for you to even respond to me and like come on here and do all this. But it just goes to show you that your character, that you know you're a good guy and you're just trying to clear the waves and show. Bro, what is up with him in the corner? Look at this guy.
Truth and
He is completely like obsessed with that. He obviously like has his own like personal issues with that, and that's all him. But Man, it's just crazy that he just does that. He just wants drama. He wants to get views, man. It's crazy. I could be doing weird stuff and doing stuff like that and saying stuff, but why? There's no point. Like I don't even know this guy personally. There's no reason to bash him. I'm gonna call him out for like lying, saying that, I did all this stuff and I didn't. And he's just loving it, man. It's just it's just getting him tons of views and making his name out there.
He's just
And
agreeing
if
with
there was
him.
anything there, it should have been dealt with 5 years ago. But
As an
the thing
interviewer,
is
you have
that
to,
it
as an interviewer, you have to get to the bottom of things by not being the guy that just agrees with the person you're interviewing. Brian is completely right, and it just sounds like Chad is so grateful for the fact Carlos even came on in the first place because he thinks it will bring exposure to his
Bro, it has nothing to do with exposure. I was just grateful that he was willing to come forward and give his side of the story, considering like all the stuff that's going on with you and Brian saying all this stuff and Nigel without even giving him a chance to speak up.
channel, which is just pathetic in this situation where there's real victims.
What's pathetic is from the beginning when Nigel contacted you, why didn't you deal with this privately instead of putting it on a video to gain views yourself? And you're talking about goblins and stuff and all this other weird stuff. Bro, point the finger in the mirror. You're one to talk. You were two-faced. You're such a hypocrite 5 years ago because there was nothing there. And I was just
Yeah,
repeating what he said
exactly.
just to try to understand.
And if there was something,
It wasn't dealt with 5 years ago because Carlos ran away from the whole situation. He left Braille because of this. He said that his Instagram account was
Okay, you're assuming that he left Braille because of this. No, he stated to me that it was because he was drinking and had a bunch of other stress and issues going on and had nothing to do with this, and he didn't want it to impact his position at Braille or anyone else that he was with. There you go, taking something and twisting it again, Dan. Just like you just get the story wrong. The whole Fetty thing, you say he's innocent, and there's all this other stuff, and then now you're going after Carlos and going after me personally too. Like it's just crazy, man.
hacked, which to be honest, he probably just deleted his account or forgot his password or whatever, just because there was multiple things on that account that could have got him in trouble, right? Think about it like
You're
this,
just
right? He
assuming
gets in
that.
trouble for this. They maybe be threatening legal action with him then, and then he goes ahead and gets rid of his Instagram account because that's where the evidence is. And then if it comes down to a court case or whatever,
Well,
he
we
can
don't
say,
know
"Oh,
that.
my Instagram account was hacked. I don't have access to that anymore. So whatever's on there clearly wasn't me."
Could
So
have
I
been,
bet you there's
but we
some
don't know.
dastardly stuff on that Instagram
You're
account,
just assuming that.
allegedly.
Yeah,
they should have brought
allegedly.
it up.
Anyone could
Yeah,
say something
And
shoot.
about somebody.
on
Dude, I
my
could
end,
say something right
It
now
goes
about you
from
and
you're one.
say it's alleged that Dan did this or said this. But like, man, like come on, man. If there's no like actual evidence or proof and it's all just hearsay, keep it off the internet, keep it off public and do it all privately behind closed doors.
Oh my gosh. How does it go from you're 100% innocent, nothing's there, and he's like, "Yep." And if something did happen, they should have brought it up. It's like, what?
Totally
But no, I'm
right,
gonna be
Brian.
honest. The shit that really pissed me off about this dude Chad's video is there was a part where he's like really defending Carlos, and he's like, "They're just using your name for clicks and for clout." And then you scroll down, he literally has hashtag Carlos Lastra, hashtag Dan Webbs.
Yeah, the reason why I did that was because I didn't do a video originally bashing Carlos off of Nigel's allegations. Nigel's saying something, there's no actual proof, it's just Nigel saying this, and I decided to see what Carlos had to say. So I was going off of what Nigel said and what Carlos said. And Nigel didn't want to speak to me. He didn't even want to like possibly get on a thing where Dan was there and Nigel was there and Carlos was there and we could all kind of like, talk about it and see what the truth was and see what people had to say. None of them wanted to do that, and that's all good. So yeah, of course I'm going to put Carlos Lastra and Dan Webbs in it to try to bring more awareness to what's going on because I'm not covering any of this until I decide to reach out to Carlos instead of just jumping on the Goblin Clout wagon to get views on alleged allegations that Nigel's claiming.
And the description reads, "In this video, we sit down with Carlos
Okay,
Lastra to address
about the description, that was just AI generated. I just took the title, put it into an AI description generator and generated it and did that. I probably could have wrote something, but that's what I did. At least in my description, I'm not promoting my website to sell merchandise.
out on this exclusive interview. Watch now for all the drama and tea."
Watching the video and there's an ad mid-roll. Who's talking about doing it for views and clout and money?
Watch now for all the drama and tea.
The description.
Bro, this isn't no fucking drama and tea. This is a serious situation. Again, that's alleged, but like this is
the thing, it's alleged, but it's a serious situation, and you guys are all making it public and talking about it and trying to get views and make money and run ads and do all this stuff and promote your merchandise site in the description yourself, Brian. You're one to talk. You and Dan are both hypocrites about the whole situation as well. You guys don't give a you don't care if Carlos is innocent or if he's guilty. You just care about bringing drama to the whole situation to gain more publicity. And Dan's doing pretty well with some of his stuff. Brian's doing really great with his stuff. So why even bother covering this stuff? It just doesn't make any sense. This could have all been dealt with privately behind the scenes.
The way that they've dealt with this situation has just pushed me into the camp of this is true. Like, I think personally, my personal opinion is that Carlos probably did a lot.
Okay, you're talking about keeping bias out of it. I didn't have any bias when it came to Carlos. I was just agreeing and repeating what he said to understand what he's saying. I personally, if you're going to get into personal bias, is I'm going to go off of what Nigel said and I'm going to go off what Carlos said. And for what I understand, it was possible that it was an accident. He didn't intentionally mean for it to happen. Or it could have actually been intentional and something seriously did happen. But the thing is, I don't know. Dan doesn't know. Brian doesn't know. And we're all going off of these allegations and what has been said or not said.
What we know about, and that is probably evidenced on that old Instagram account that got hacked at around the same time, bear in mind.
So you're leaving
like, I don't fuck with this. Why are you painting it out like that? And obviously,
and the reason why I wanted to react to Brian's video instead of Chad's video is because Chad has obviously seen this from Brian and then gone through and changed the description of his video because obviously Brian's called him out.
It was AI generated. I can even show you right now the website I use and how I do it. I don't write any of my descriptions. How it was typed out, that's not how I type. It is AI generated through a website. And then after Brian mentioned it in his video, I was like, oh, he does have a point. Maybe I should take that out of it. And I did. I took it out of it. Yeah, I admit that. I'll admit that. But I'm just telling you right now, it was AI generated.
I reacted to Dan's video. I used Carlos in the thumbnail. And maybe I was wrong for that, but I tried to just keep a more serious approach when watching the video. I don't know if he's just like trying to, I don't know what he's
AI generated.
But yeah,
right.
he clearly...
Right, anyway, thank you to Brian for that video. Brian's an absolute legend, but I've got one more bit of proof for you, so we might even have the good ending here. Let me crack out the old mobile telephonic communications device, and
I just want to show something. In Brian's description, it states, my clothing brand, my main channel, follow me on other social media accounts. Like, talk about, like, calling the kettle black, bro. Like, you're straight up a hypocrite when it comes to channel description. I used a freaking AI description generator. I straight up use this for all my videos. And all you do is literally pick whatever and put, like, Dan Webb's skateboard, and then you just like copy and paste this and straight up do it. And I'm telling you right now, it's not an excuse for my description, but that's how it is. You can even like read how it is. You can read how the description was, and it's not how I talk. It's not how I type. It's so much simpler to do things that way, and it's better than posting, here's a link to my merchandise, here's a link to my social accounts, here's a link to my main channel. Like, come on, I'm not doing it for clout, I'm not doing it for views. So you guys are hypocrites when it comes to that in that sense. Even Dan himself, his thing is Brian's vid. This is the last time talking about this. Hashtag Carlos Lastra. And then today we listened to a couple clowns interview each other, support my content, my skate store, my TikTok, and Instagram. And they're literally hypocrites when it comes to this. Oh my god, this video is way too long. I wanted to make this short. But anyways, let's listen to this last thing about Dan Webb's in his video and how it's a good ending to all of this.
We can jump straight into my DMs with Aaron. Now, me and Aaron, we've spoken a few times. We've spoken on the phone a bunch. He's a good old boy. We've chatted about a bunch of things. We've talked about working together in the future. But when this whole situation came out, I'm going to read you guys the message that I sent to Aaron. So let me just find that one sec, because I thought that this needs to be addressed, man. You can't just leave this like unaddressed, because people were tagging me in comments and stuff like that.
To Aaron Cairo and his comment, we don't need to listen and read the whole thing.
Certainly should have been addressed. He goes, wait, what? Who is saying this? And I said, Nigel was the one who said it first. I then asked him about it. He sent me all the screenshots.
Okay, so regardless of what he said before, it sounds like Aaron and Braille had no idea what was actually going on until Dan brought it forward. So why didn't Nigel bring this forward to them first rather than going straight to Dan Webb's?
Carlos was touching up the younger girls during lessons. And then Aaron hit me with the, please provide me with all the specific details, names, dates, screenshots, photos.
Okay, so based off of what Aaron says here, that they're going to make a proper police report and thanks him for his help. And this is the thing is that they even got it wrong. It wasn't during lessons and it wasn't plural. From what I understand, it was just the one time with the one girl that wasn't which was legally an adult, which doesn't make it any better if it actually is true. And why didn't Nigel contact Braille and Aaron directly? He works with them. He could have just dealt with it privately, but no, he sends it to Dan. Dan gets involved, and even Aaron now is like thanking Dan for his excellent police work.
Or any evidence, a proper police report needs to be written up thanks to your help in this, which I did. I gave Aaron every detail that he needed to know, and he is now in the middle of writing up a police report on this whole situation, which in my eyes is the good ending. So hopefully Carlos will get what's coming to him, and at the very least he's been exposed to the world of skateboarding. But anyway guys, that's about it.
That's the thing is like it is good that Aaron's going this route. It is really good that he's taking this serious because it is a serious situation, serious allegations that Nigel's claiming. Hopefully, for Carlos's sake, he's telling the truth and it was an accident and all this is false. But if it isn't and he is guilty, they will do their proper investigation, find out the truth. The police will, not YouTubers like Dan, Brian, or myself, but like, it just doesn't make any sense why Nigel would go forward with Dan instead of going to Braille himself. Why did it have to take some dude in Australia to cause all this drama and then submit it to Aaron, where he should have just went straight to Aaron to begin with, rather than making these videos himself? I can't even click next without another ad popping up. Holy smokes. Holy smokes, this was a long video. Anyone that actually stayed till the very end, I really appreciate it. And yeah, it's insane how people can take stuff out of context, twist things for their own narrative, make videos and cause all this drama to get clicks and views, make them seem like they're this great person, and then lie about others and then end up being a two-faced hypocrite in the process. So my own honest personal opinion, I think Nigel should have went straight to Aaron and Braille, or when he gave the information to Dan, Dan should have went straight to Aaron and Braille instead of making all these videos to get views and clicks, which he clearly obviously loves and he loves the drama and he just gets off on it. As for the interview, I don't interview people and people are making all these comments. You're entitled to your opinion. It's all good. I read all the comments, so it's quite interesting to see how people feel about it. And you do realize, and you have to realize that if I made videos and actually started to bash Carlos or going after him, he would have never spoken out. So at least this way, I was able to hear his side of things. I was agreeing with him and listening to him and just kind of repeating things just to see his side of it. I'm not justifying or blaming the victim or anything like that. I was just going off of what he was saying. In Carlos's sake, I'm hoping he's telling the truth. And if if it was a case that it was an actual accident and not intentional, but we'll see and find out what happens later, I guess, when Aaron does his police investigation or creates the report, or if it even goes anywhere else, or this was just all just a bunch of drama and nothing's going to happen. And as for Brian and Dan, I thought Brian was pretty chill. He did a pretty chill video about everything. There's just a couple parts where he's a hypocrite about it. The description, advertising his merch and his socials. Same with Dan. And also, like, I don't see why Brian would even cover any of this other than he just wants to get involved in the drama and because it's a hot topic, he wants to get involved in it, which is all fine. He's all entitled to that. But for Dan, on the other hand, he's just this big drama case who ends up jumping on anything for clout to get his name out there to get views. You can say it's the same thing about me, but if you look throughout my history, I've reported on tons of different things, and it's not just skateboarding, it's just whatever I find interesting or just want to talk about. I wasn't even going to go near this, I didn't even want to touch it after the whole Fetty situation, but it just seemed like, you know what, if I am going to do this, I might as well see what Carlos had to say about it first before I just jump on the hate wagon. And also to Dan, he is a liar and a hypocrite, and I can't believe you would say that stuff about me, man. You don't know me personally. You're lying about the comments. You're lying about me begging to be on your channel. I even said in the message to you on Instagram that we can talk about this privately, and then you're doing all these things to talk smack about me and all this stuff, man. It's just absolutely, honestly, like people are gonna find it funny and all that, and yeah, some of it's kind of funny or whatever, but it's very distasteful and disgraceful, and it just kind of shows what kind of person you are that you're going to resort to that level of making fun of somebody or mocking them or putting them down or lying about them just to make you seem cool. Like I said, I could be saying things about you, doing all sorts of weird stuff like you, and there's no point of stooping that low. Like if you're going to stoop that low, it's pretty pathetic, and it's actually really sad that you would go that route. And Dan, I don't know you personally other than just your videos, and I thought you were pretty chill, but for you to like not even know me and say all that stuff and do all that stuff, like I said, it just goes to show you how low of a person you are, what kind of stuff you resort to. And if you got problems with me or beef, you could have just contacted me directly, privately. I didn't beg to be on your channel. I didn't delete a comment and repost comments. You're lying about that. You're a hypocrite. And like I even reached out to you. We could have kept it all private. But like, yeah, like I said, if you got beef with me, like bring it to my attention, man. Don't go making videos talking a bunch of smack just to be cool. And it just goes to, like I said, to show what kind of person you really are, because like it's the last thing like anybody should be doing is being, as you put it in another video, an internet tough guy. And for you to do all that on video because you're in a different country shows that you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite because, you know, saying all this stuff on video and being in a different country, you're not going to face any consequences. It's not like you're going to see me at the skate park or vice versa. And I have no problems with you other than what you're lying about and being two-faced about and making all these weird things, you know, insinuating that I'm doing with Carlos and stuff like that, which is not cool. You might think it's funny, you might think your fans are gonna think it funny, and yeah, they might, but that's just pretty pathetic stuff to resort to. So all I'm gonna say is that you try to act professional. You're giggling during this whole thing, making all these rude comments about people and gestures and stuff like that. Clearly not professional at all. You don't care about what's going on. The only thing I'll give you credit for is I'm surprised you actually contacted Aaron and he's actually going to move this forward. You claim that you're not going to make any more videos on this. I highly doubt it. Same with Brian. I highly doubt it. We'll see if you're going to keep to your word, but I highly doubt it. Because I can already see that you're a hypocrite and you're lying about stuff in your video about me. So why wouldn't you be lying to your fans and everybody else about what you're going to do or not do? Also, you could have kept that stuff about Aaron private, but no, you had to add it to the video because you know it's just going to add to the views and the drama, and people are going to be like, "Oh, he contacted Aaron Cairo," and you just know how it works. You're not, you know, you're not stupid, and I'll give you that. But for the way you act and the things you say, it's just pretty pathetic and sad. So anyways, there's my reaction, reviewing, I guess, both Dan's and Brian's video to the response of the interview. It was kind of a two for one. Sorry this was so long, and if you stayed to the very finish, can you please comment with the word Chomper? That's my dog in the background right there, Chomper. And that way I know you're a true supporter, a true one, and I really appreciate the love and support. And heck, why not? If you comment Chomper, I'll enter you all into a draw for something cool. Maybe some stickers, maybe some skateboard swag. I don't know yet. We'll see what I got. But yeah, we'll just do that. So comment Chomper. Anyways, I'll keep you updated with anything else. There might be some more drama, some more stuff coming up, and I got some more bombs to drop. And like I said, Carlos shared a lot with me, and I could have been sharing that. He could have been sharing that, but we decided to keep that all hush hush. And there's no point in even getting into it when it's just all hearsay and accusations without actually any proof. So yeah, like this video, comment down with your thoughts and opinions and how you feel about all this, and we'll just leave it at that. So stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay safe. God bless you all. Take care and peace out. For Carlos' sake, I hope he's telling you the truth and it was an accident, because if not, he might end up in a jail cell and he might end up doing what Dan Webbs was doing in that video that whole time, which I'm pretty sure he has some weird, strange obsession with.